Hi, I'm Pam and I'm here to talk about video games. Today I'm continuing with my favorite games of all time, this time covering numbers 15 to 11. 15 is the reboot of a long-running PlayStation franchise that's known for adventure, exploration, and polygonal boobs.
Tomb Raider was developed by Crystal Dynamics and released in 2013. A definitive edition was released the following year for the newest generation of consoles. We play a young Lara Croft on one of her first adventures as she's searching for the lost kingdom of Yamatai. Her ship sinks in a storm, and Lara must survive the mysterious and dangerous island that she and her companions find themselves on. The first time I played this game, I found it completely exhilarating. The game's introduction was a thrilling escape, jumping platforms, avoiding obstacles, falling down cliffs. I know QTEs aren't everybody's thing, but I love them in this game. There are amazing set pieces, including traversing a crashed airplane that's dangling over a waterfall and parachuting through a forest that had me holding my breath as I played. It all looks and sounds fantastic and makes me feel like I'm part of the game. As far as the story goes, Though I do like that the main focus is Lara rescuing her gal pal Sam, it's the gameplay that really makes me love the game. Using the bow and arrow to take out enemies is immensely satisfying, especially using explosive arrows, and when doing more of the climbing and jumping stuff, I really like how the ice pick adds to things. Plus, the tombs provide for some interesting puzzle solving, even though what we find in them doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Really, I'm happy that we have an exciting new series for Lara Croft for this generation. The game also gives me a weird sense of nostalgia for the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Sam.
I don't know what it is.
The next game stars a rakish horror author investigating a series of murders in Louisiana.
Gabriel Knight: Sins of the Fathers was developed by Sierra Online and released for PC in 1993. It's a point-and-click adventure where you play Gabriel Knight, writer and owner of a rare bookstore who is investigating a string of murders that seems to be related to voodoo. Gabriel Knight was one of the first really good mystery stories I experienced in a game. The plot was full of twists and turns, and you never quite knew who to trust. It also has some great characters, like Gabriel's sarcastic assistant Grace, who always has some witty banter to share or important information to offer. She also pulls Gabriel's ass out of the fire more than once. The cast of characters is brought to life by a great cast of voice actors. Gabriel is voiced by Tim Curry. His southern accent might be questionable, but I love him nonetheless. Mark Hamill plays Gabriel's cop buddy Mosley. It's pretty much a dream cast for someone who grew up on Star Wars and the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The whole game is narrated by Virginia Capers, whose southern drawl more than makes up for Curry's. The New Orleans location definitely makes the game stand out, and you travel to a lot of landmarks, like Marie Laveau's tomb, during the course of the investigation. It really has an excellent sense of place. One design element I really like is that the game is broken into 7 days. This makes your tasks and goals a little more manageable and solves the common adventure game problem of spending a lot of time wandering all the game's locations and trying to combine every item in your inventory, not being sure what you're supposed to do next.
13 is a game that made me question what I had learned about mitochondria in biology class.
Parasite Eve was developed by Square and released for PS1 in 1998. It's an action role-playing game where you play rookie cop Aya Brea. While at the opera on Christmas Eve, everyone in the audience spontaneously bursts into flames, except for Aya and the woman singing. The game, which is based on a novel, plays around with the idea of mitochondria evolving and taking over the rest of the body. It's set in New York City and takes us through a number of New York landmarks, like Central Park, the Museum of Natural History, and the Chrysler Building. I really like how Parasite Eve melds together multiple genres. It's a JRPG at its heart, with a system for powering up Aya through gaining new weapons and upgrading the ones she has. However, you're also only playing Aya. You don't have a party of characters. The combat has an active time bar, so it is turn-based between you and what you're fighting, but it's free roaming, and you have to actively dodge attacks while you wait for your next turn. The horror comes in with fixed camera angles as you explore, and great and gross looking enemy designs. Most enemies look like they started as some kind of animal, then mutated, and climbed out of their skin. For me, Parasite Eve is a quintessential Christmas game. Not only does it take place around then, but it's also a game that I got for Christmas one year. As soon as present opening was done, I immediately put it in the PlayStation. I was amazed at the cutscene I was treated to before I even started a new game. Unfortunately, we had family coming over, so I wasn't allowed to play it. Instead, I just left the intro looping on the TV all day before I finally had a chance to dig in.
Next is the most recent game that made it this far into the list, and it's filled with non-stop action.
Doom is a first-person shooter developed by id Software and released in 2016. The Doom Marine battles demons, unleashed by the UAC, who have opened a portal to Hell in order to channel its energy into a renewable energy source for Earth. This was a game I had no idea I wanted. When the game was first revealed, it looked violent and generic, not really appealing to me, but then I actually played it. Doom cuts out all the baggage the FPS genre has collected over the years to make it feel fresh again. There's no big cinematic to kick things off, no heavy exposition to tell you the situation. You wake up chained to an altar of some sort, immediately face off against your first demons, and the action never stops from there. There's no cover, no reloading, no realistic heft to your guns. It's a relentless demon-killing joyride of a game that never stops feeling exciting. In Doom, the best defense is a good offense, and I quickly learned to never stop moving or shooting. Strafing in the game is uniquely satisfying, as projectiles headed your way are clearly visible things like fireballs. There are so many things I love about Doom. The sardonic sense of humor found in the codex, the relentless heavy metal soundtrack, and bone-crunching, flesh-tearing sound effects. Glory kills allow you to finish off weakened enemies with melee hits in a way that is at once brutally visceral, but also offers a momentary respite from the chaos of the battle to breathe and plan your next move. Boss fights are limited in number but brilliantly executed, and really put your movement skills to the test. The Cyber Demon is one of my favorite boss fights in any game.
11 is where my favorite NES game places, and it's the first game I reviewed when I started this channel.
Felix A Cat was developed by Hudson Soft and released for NES in 1992. Based on the cartoon cat who has been around for almost 100 years, Felix is a platformer where you are out to rescue your kidnapped girlfriend Kitty from the evil professor who is after your magic bag of tricks. While the game is fairly simple in terms of difficulty and design, there's a lot of variety and nice little touches that make it stand out to me. There are 9 levels that are all quite unique, taking you from rolling green hills to underwater zones, to tropical areas, the skies, and even space. Felix can take on many forms depending on the environment he's in. When he's on land, he uses his bag of tricks to punch enemies or emit stars around him, and he can ride around in a car or a tank. On water, he travels in a rubber dinghy or on the back of a dolphin. Collecting milk bottles allow you to progress to more and more powerful forms. Since it came out in '92, which is after the Super Nintendo released, Felix wasn't exactly a smashing success. But its late release meant that Hudson Soft knew how to work the NES hardware, and as a result, I think it's one of the prettier games on the system. The color palette is impressive, and the sprites, animations, and environments all look really good. It also has a very catchy soundtrack. Felix is a game that I used to rent from Blockbuster pretty much every weekend. I'd go there with the intention of trying something new, but always came away with Felix. I played through this game so many times, until it appeared in the sale bin one day and I finally owned it. So there's definitely a lot of nostalgia in my love for this one.
That's it for this episode. Next time, we finally crack the top 10. I hope you're into RPGs and adventure, because I am.
If you missed it, check out the last episode in this series or my full review of Doom. I have a Patreon if you're interested in supporting my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.